All right, guys, thank you all so much for joining. Again, my name is Ellis, and we're on our webinar series number 11. So again, thank you all so much. This is going to be published on our YouTube channel. All you do is just search GovQuote, GovQuote, and you can find all the webinars that we've done in the past there as well. We are also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, so you can go like us there as well. So, please go like and subscribe to us on YouTube so you do get those notifications when we do publish new videos if you cannot make it to any of them that we do live. So now that I kind of went over our social medias, I wanted to go over what today's topic is going to be. It's going to be a pretty much just a giant overview of everything in your vendor profile on GovQuote. So, going from quoting to, setting up your categories, your locations, what happens when you win, everything like that's pretty much going to be covered in this week's webinar. So I will go ahead and get started. Just looking at my screen today, there are just a couple open requests. This is going to be just like if you were to log in and you have any open requests currently, you will see this here. You will always be notified via email when a new request for quote does come in that falls underneath your category. So you'll always see those in your email inbox if you're not logged in. But first, I do want to cover just your settings because I feel that this is a main part about your account and the main part of how you do receive your requests for quotes. So, you have your profile here, which gives you, your name, your phone number, the email address at the bottom. If you ever do need to change it, this is where you can do so. Or if you ever need to change your password, you can do that here as well. Next to that, we have the My Company tab, which is where you can put in your organization name, your industry, the address, as well as how many company employees you have. If you do fall under any socioeconomic classifications, please feel free to fill these out. We are adding the state of Texas hub vendor in as well. But you are able to select any of these categories that you fall under for those socioeconomic classifications. So next we have our categories, and this is going to be one of the main parts about setting up your account. So this is how we match you up with the requests. On GovQuote, you're not really able to search or to type in anything to find those open requests. What you do is you set up categories. So you'll set up categories based on what you service or sell. It's based on keywords. We also use the United Nations Standard Products and Service Codes. We felt that that has the most variety of products and services. So you can either select products, you can either select services, or you can select both. And all you do is type in what you're looking for. So it's more of a general term than a brand specific item. So we can always do like a ladder. And you can see ladders and scaffolding accessories, ladders and scaffoldings. And maybe if you're not really sure if that category fits in, all you do is click view details. So you can see all of that right there. And then if you are ready to select it, all you do is click this circle with the arrow. You can select as many of these categories as you'd like. Depending on what you guys service or sell, I always say between 5 and 10 really do, really shows you the most requests that pertain to what you're looking for. We do understand some vendors are very specific in what they do. So if you don't have, 5, that's totally okay too. We want it to be tailored to what you guys sell or service. So you can select whatever you'd like, and then all you do is if you change your mind on you want to take out that category, all you do is select this circle with the arrow here. Just wanted to interrupt for a little moment. If you guys do have any questions, you are able to just chat us and just write us in if you have any questions, and we'll get to them at the end. So, feel free if something does pop in your head just to go ahead and ask a question in there. But that is how you can add in your categories based on the products and services you sell. Next, we have locations. So you can either select all the United States, or you can just go in and individually select the state or region that you work in. And we also have, what's so great is you're even able to select the county. So if you are a smaller business and you only work in a certain area, you can go ahead and just select the counties that you do work in. So that really helps you narrow it down to what your target area is. Next is the notifications tab, and what you want to make sure you have this selected, because that will give you the notifications in your email about current open opportunities on GovQuote. So as long as you have that box checked off in notifications, you will be getting those email notifications or those email alerts when an agency posts a request that matches your category and your location, as well as if they respond to any of your quotes or questions that you do submit over to them. Next, we have the users tab. So if there are any other users in your company that you would like to add in here, please feel free to do so. There is no charge to have any users in here, so feel free to invite everyone. I just wanted to say though that the categories and locations are account based. So if you have colleagues that only work in, let's say the Southeast region and you work in the Northeast region, you want them to create their own account. You can obviously share with them what categories you have selected, but the locations are a complete account based. So if you have all selected categories, they'd be selected for every user. Same with the categories. And last but not least, the referrals tab. So if there's another company that you think could benefit from using GovQuote, please feel free to invite them and share the requests with them. But that is your settings, and that is the most important part to have set up. So these categories and locations are the most important part of setting up your account, because that is how you get matched up with open opportunities that are out here on GovQuote. So that is that. Now going into the open requests tab. This is going to be your main page, your home page. Anytime you log in, you will be brought to that open requests tab. It will show you the current open opportunities that have matched up with your location and your categories. So I'm just going to go and click into one just to show you what it looks like and how to go about responding. So as a vendor, you'll see there's an agency that's looking for cameras. They published it today and they selected categories. So you as a vendor are notified based on if you have at least one of these categories selected. You can see they put in a description. So they're looking for cameras that need to be installed as well. They've scheduled a job walk, maybe to look at the location so you guys can accurately quote what they are looking for. And so what you would want to do in this situation is you basically want to RSVP or, kind of secure your spot in being able to quote them. So you can ask them a question, and once you do that, either click send a quote or ask a question. This agency does have terms and conditions already put into their account, which means that they want you to read them and acknowledge them before submitting your quote. This sometimes can include vendor registration links, vendor registration forms, or any other form that you may need to fill out before submitting a quote over to them, or to be able to be your quote be selected. So you can always do that, and it's just a simple checkbox right here. But let's say you are wanting to, go to that job walk so that you can accurately quote them. You can either send them a message, or you can quote them what it would be just the cameras and say, I'd like to go to the job walk so I can accurately quote you on the installation as well. So however you'd like to do that. If you were to just ask the question or, submit your RSVP, I would like to attend the job walk. And all you do is you click send message, and now it'll appear looking just like this. So it'll show your company, it'll show any of the socioeconomic classifications you have selected, it'll show your location, and then it'll show you a waiting quote. So that means you have not submitted a total price yet. but you do want to attend their job walk. So this is how you would be able to communicate directly with the agency. We do not give out their numbers or their email. This is how you'd be able to communicate with them if you do have any questions, concerns. Once you do submit a chat to them, they get an email alert about your response so that they can go in and respond to you, and vice versa. If the agency responded to your question, you'll get an email alert as well saying that they have responded. So that's how you would get in contact with the agency. You are also able to attach any attachments you may have. So we do suggest that if you are going to submit a quote, that you attach your quote on a PDF as well. But this is what it would look like. So if you ever do need to go back, it would be right here on the bottom left-hand corner. So you can go back to your open requests, and now you see that that request has gone away. So now you're like, hey, where'd it go? Easy. You just go into the My Quotes, and it will appear under Pending. So pending means that you have submitted your quote or asked a question, but have yet to hear back from the agency on whether or not you have been awarded the request or not. So it'll appear under pending. Going back to the open requests, let's say you now saw this request for computers. You're like, great, I know I can sell them. You're matched up to, based on these couple categories, and you're ready to submit your quote. So you can just go in. You put in a total price at the top. You can read, acknowledge their terms and conditions. You can send them a message as well, and you can click Send Quote. So just like earlier, same as when you ask a question, it appears here on the left-hand side again, right over here. So now that those two have gone away, they are now in the My Quotes area, meaning that they are both pending. Once the request has been either awarded or closed out, you will get a notification, and you will be able to find it underneath these two tabs. So let's say you've been awarded this request for chairs. It'll appear under the Awarded tab. It'll show up in green. Says quote has been awarded. You can see all the transactions that have been made through, and now you want to know, all right, how can I get in touch with this agency so that I can complete this order? Which is, we get asked that a lot. How do I continue on? How do I, go ahead and get that payment, or how can I go ahead and, put in that, place that order? So what you would do is you would chat the agency directly on the GovQuote application. So now you can say, when can I expect the PO to be cut, or any other questions that you may have, like if you need to get in touch with them. This is how you would do it. You would just use this chat to get into communication with that agency so that you can further the order of what they are asking for. So you would just message them there. Back underneath My Quotes, you will also have this Close tab, so that if you are not awarded, it'll appear under in red, Request Canceled, and you can see that they have canceled the request. So these will always keep you updated based on what status your quotes are in. So you either have pending, awarded, or closed. So those are those. Yep, so underneath pending, if you do need to further communicate with that agency, you can still do so in this chat. And that is how you can go about submitting a request, submitting that quote, asking a question, what happens when you're awarded, what happens when you're closed, or when the request gets closed, and everything that appears in your settings. We are always here to help you in any way we can, to make sure that your categories are set up correctly, help you with your locations, help you with submitting quotes. We are always here. We want to support you as best we can. So if you ever do have questions or run into any issues, this blue chat box right here is the best way to get a hold of us. It is an instant messenger. So the minute you send it over, we get that alert, and we can go ahead and respond to you in real time, super fast. either myself or my colleagues will be able to answer any questions you may have. But you can also email us at win@govquote.us. So that's win@govquote.us. You can also, email us there. But I think that the best way to get a hold of us would be to use this chat box at the bottom right-hand corner. Just an FYI, if you have all your categories set up correctly and you have your location set up and you see this image right here, there are no open requests. That just means that currently at this moment, there aren't any current open requests out on GovQuote for you at this moment. Since our site deals with requests for quotes and not bids, they do get fulfilled quite fast and they do close out fast. So, you might not see something today, but tomorrow something might appear. So as long as you have access to your email, you do have access to GovQuote because that's how you'll be notified based on these requests. You will also get notifications here at this bell. But those are going to be your main points. If you ever do want to see all the open opportunities we have on GovQuote, whether or not they match your categories or not, it is super easy. You can find it just like this by going to our home page, scrolling down, and there is a laptop, and that laptop will show you all the current open opportunities we do have. So that maybe you don't have that specific category selected and you're like, wait, I can do that. You can go in and, say, oh, well, I also do musical instruments. You can go in there and maybe you don't have, this specific category selected or any of these categories, you can go in and add them in as well. So if you ever do want to check those out, as long as you're logged out and you just go to our homepage, govquote.us, you will be able to see this laptop and see all those current open opportunities that are out there today. Again, they do change daily, so just because you see it today doesn't mean it will be there tomorrow. So you want to get in there fast. You want to get in there as soon as possible and with your best pricing that you can possibly provide so that you do win the business. So this webinar was a pretty short one today, so I'm just going to leave it open. If you guys do have any questions, please feel free to start to chat us, and I will be able to help you. So if you are looking at where to ask the questions, on your screen on the right-hand side on the sidebar, there is a little, kind of looks like a chat bubble with a question mark in it. That is how you can go ahead and submit those questions and chat us to ask any questions you may have. That will open up the chat box for you. So again, it's on the right side. It's a sidebar. It's a little chat bubble with a question mark, and that's what you can use to ask us any questions and submit those comments. If you guys can't think of any questions or comments now, that's totally okay. Like I said earlier, there's the blue chat box at the bottom right-hand corner, as well as our general email, win, W-I-N, @govquote.us, to ask us any questions you guys may have. So we did get one question in, and it was, how soon after my quote is submitted and the time to respond has closed can I expect to be notified if I won or if I was awarded, or if it was awarded to a different supplier? That is a great question. So it depends on the agency. It's at the agency's discretion. Some agencies take just a few days after the request has closed out to award it. Some take a week or two before they go ahead and award and respond because they do have a longer process. So it does depend on the agency, but max it'll take is about 30 days. But we've seen recently that they do get do get awarded faster than that, but I always see just a couple weeks. So we did get another question. Can governmental agencies do a reverse search and look for companies that provide the services they want? That's a great question. The answer is no. So it's not reversal, if that makes sense. Basically, you are only matched up based on the categories that you have. So they cannot search for your company and you cannot search for that agency. It's just matched based on the categories and the locations you have selected. I hope you guys all learned something new today, or maybe, were able to get a refresher on maybe something you weren't as familiar with. But I did want to say thanks again so much for joining. This video will be on YouTube. So if there's a peer that may have missed the webinar today, feel free to share the link with them. All it is GovQuote. Once you're in YouTube, you can just search that and you will find our page and our channel. Please feel free to go like and subscribe so you do get notifications. We also are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and our handle is just GovQuote, GovQuote. So thanks so much, guys, for joining us today, and have a great rest of your week.